All right, guys, it is Kayo Music for RedVentsTV, giving you a bit of a recap of Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0, first loss of the Amorim era. I mean, was there any surprise? I think anybody who's been following Man United for a while would know and realize that this was a game that was going to be a true test of where we stood at as a club, as a team, where we're at in our development, and what we were lacking, what our deficiencies were, tactically especially, and personnel. I think that for the most part, tactically, in open play, we were we were equal. I don't think we were somewhat competitive, especially in the first half. Second half, it sort of fell apart. And there's reasons we can wax lyrical about why what was the case. I think quick reasons off the top of my head is the personnel is not accustomed playing our style of football, or new style of football, for 90 minutes. I don't think any of these players were accustomed playing any style of football for 90 minutes. So they did well for a good for first 45. I think tactically it was very even, but in the end, Arsenal had a bit more in their arsenal, aka set piece FC. Big up Stephen Howson for that. That proved to be the difference. They literally couldn't score in open play. If they did not have work set piece strategies that proved that worked on other teams prior to this, we could have walked away with a point at the very least, and you would have said, well, we've done very well and we've been able to come away with a point. And tactically, it seems like we were on par with Arsenal whilst they're in year 6 of whatever process they're in, and we're in 6 months. You know what I mean? But having that extra bow in the quiver, arrow in the quiver, proved to be the difference, because tactically we were able to nullify them. So all in all, it's a decent, positive, encouraging thing to walk away with, even though it's a 2-0 loss. We always knew that we were in a different phase, and it was always going to be the excuse or the reason if we were to lose this game. But I will say this: other managers that we've had that were early in their project were able to come away with something from an away game at Arsenal, and they had a worse team. So I only say that to say that if you have made up your mind already about Amorim, whether you in a positive way or a negative way, don't don't bet your house on it just yet. It's still very early days, and we've had many false dawns. And when we've gone to Arsenal, or we've gone to City under Arsenal under, I guess, Mourinho probably, or where we've gone to Man City under Solskjaer, we've been and we've had certain results. We felt like, yeah, we are there, or we just beat these top teams in the league, so we must have something. And then 18 months down the line, we're like, get rid of him. You know what I mean? So don't hang your hat yet, but there is some encouraging things that we see, especially when it comes to having a structure, a style of play, an intent of how we want to play, and players actually trying to execute it. I think that is one of the positive things that we can come away with. I don't think I'm going to go into who did what wrong and where it went wrong. I think we can all kind of surmise that if they scored with 2 set pieces, they were and didn't score in open play. I mean, nullified them in open play. The stats gave a bit more of an even assessment of things, with the exception of coming down in the latter 30 minutes of the game, that we can really criticize our players and our team for. That's just about it. We don't need to get into any more of the specifics about that. It just showed that they just had one more or two more in this case strategic outlets in order to win a game than we did, and that's the difference you need in this Premier League, and that's the difference you need, and that's the difference. It is between a team that has been working with a process for 6 years versus one that's under 6 months. In this case, level 6 weeks, less than 6 weeks. So, there's positives to take from it. We can be disappointed, but also, I'm gonna, what do you call it? Ineos, they've bought themselves time by pulling trigger on Ten Hag and forcing a reset. And everyone is like, okay, we're in a new era. We're not gonna be on the team's case like we would have been if this was Ten Hag. If we had gone here under Ten Hag and lost, even if it was a way where we could see something happening, I think chickens that have already left the roost, and that 2-0 loss wouldn't be taken with the same amount of positivity that we would have taken it, that we've taken it now. So, yeah, that's it. That's basically it with this game. I still have a video coming out, or would have been out by now, or should be out by now, sorry, about my trip to RedVentsTV's last game. Hope you guys enjoy that. Against Leicester, it was a really good day out. I think I want to talk about, for the rest of this, just realistically about where the team is at, the changes that have happened since my last video. My last video about when Ten Hag was in charge. I hope you guys also checked out that Front 2 podcast with my boy Kaya Fire. It was fire. I loved it. It was really, really good to link up with him again. We're going to do more of those. Basically, where we are as this team, it's a reset. And it's a reset in a way that sort of saved the club's ass a little bit. In that, no matter how this season would have gone, I think most of everyone would have agreed we would have gotten to that toxic point where everyone would have been wanting to get rid of Erik Ten Hag. The only thing that would have saved this season was just soft silverware. That's the only thing, and not just one small domestic piece of silverware. He would have had to win FA Cup and Carabao Cup to even have a chance at keeping his job for the next season. And the only way to guarantee it would have been to somehow have a miracle and win the Prem. And that wasn't going to happen. So technically, I think his time was over. I wanted it to work under him so badly, but there were just some things you couldn't excuse. He didn't give himself any favors, do himself any favors. But at the same time, the deck was stacked against him in the first place. I think deck is also stacked against Amorim, but I think Amorim has a bigger chance at leaving. If he were to leave this job, he would have a better chance of leaving with respect, because he would have at least done whatever he wanted to do his way. And if it didn't work, you could say yes, it didn't work, but at least he tried to do it his way. Whereas Ten Hag tried to adjust and make changes and kind of abandoned his philosophy in order to try and keep things rolling. And I'm not going to lie, he could have definitely done that. I think he's the kind of guy that could do that type of thing. That could adjust, that could make changes and all of that. But we are at the point in time where we're not looking for that. We want identity. We want a style of play. We want to win. We want to compete again. We can't. It's the inconsistencies that truly turn the fans I can't defend Ten Hag to the point where I could say he didn't deserve to lose his job. Ruud van der Sar came in and did his thing. Really didn't change much. The team responded very well. 3 wins, one draw, 100% record. Our best manager yet. Yeah, of course. I'm just joking. But it sort of proved that with the right motivation, with clearer or more concise instruction or and stuff like that, the team could get something but out of their games. However, the difference is 2 things. The games that he had to play were far easier than what Ten Hag had to play. He had a fairly easier run. And so too has Amorim, I'm going to say, apart from this Arsenal game, which obviously showed us our true level. But he did very well. Things that were put in front of him, teams that were put in front of him, he dealt with them. And, thank you very much. And now he's going on to the Leicester job. Surprised the hell out of me that he took that the Leicester job was there and he took it. And got his first win recently. So congratulations to him. I think other than that, after he left, Amorim came in. We were undefeated up until today. Undefeated up until today. You put positive spin on things. But for the most part, it's just a case of, we met up with actual competition and we got a clear indication of where we stand in the pecking order. And it's a good reality check. I think we had a good positive reality check. It's not one that really felt like should make us feel like, we're completely out of our depth. We're never going to get there. It's something where you can look at positively and say, okay, cool, that's the levels. Given the structure and the person that we put in charge, hopefully they're back in. And we can, we could possibly get there. Get to the point where we can take something from that game, from when we face them again. Especially when we face them again, which will be later down in the season, when hopefully these tactics and these strategies will be a little bit better. And we have to trust that Amorim will come up with some kind of solutions where he knows that, okay, cool, I have the capability to nullify Arsenal or in open play. Now we just need to figure out what's going on with the set pieces. And how do we enforce our will on the game to make sure that we have the upper hand and we score and we win this game without having to concede any goals from the set piece bullshit that they have. But anyway, point being, I think that we are in a brand new direction. As I said in the podcast, in the front 2 podcast, unfortunately, I would have liked someone like Amorim to come in a bit later after someone like Ten Hag would have steadied the ship. And we would have gotten players and structure in place for him to just slot in and get the ball rolling. But unfortunately, now he needs to finish up and do more of the job that Ten Hag had to do and build the team now in a way, and pretty much is in a Ten Hag position as well. He now has a team that doesn't belong to him, where the majority of the players are not along the style that he wants to play, and he has to make do with what he has. And in some cases, maybe even worse. And the team is in a slightly better position than Ten Hag made it. So now but he still has to do the rebuilding process, and the rebuilding process now in the way of building the structure of the team and all of that around his specific style of play. So he still has a lot of work to do, and we got to be patient with it. We got to expect, like I said before, we went on the Ten Hag, we got to expect to be shit for a while. I think that it is true that I think Amorim's way of coaching and who he is and how he is as a coach is going to translate better and quicker than Ten Hag's. Only time will tell. We'll see if the style of management is going or coaching is going to have more longevity in terms of high maintenance of competitiveness in the league. But I think at least the transferring or the translation, is going to be better and quicker under Amorim. So I think hopefully by next season we shall be playing like complete Amorim ball. The question is whether obviously we won't have the full personnel to play complete Amorim ball in terms of its full efficiency, but we'll see the full realization of what he wants from the team. And because of that, we'll know exactly what holes and deficiencies we have player-wise or personnel-wise and whatnot that we have in the team, and it'll just be to plug those holes and get the right players in, so that then we can have basically our version of Sporting Lisbon in Manchester, or whatever version of that is specific to us here in Manchester. So anyway, that is my quick synopsis over what's just happened with Arsenal and over the last few weeks in the transition between the exit of Ten Hag, the interim management of Ruud van Nistelrooy, and the new Amorim era. This is your boy Kyle Music on the go, on my way home after my show. Where in the hell are we? We're now in Birmingham. Here. Guys, if you want to check out Book of Mormon, the show, we are here in Birmingham at the Alexandra. Get your tickets now. Hit me up for tickets if you want. And come free. Come see the show. And hope to see you there. But yeah, you'll see me here once again on this channel, chatting about Manchester United. Hopefully on the back of a win and not a loss. But we in this new era where we're still figuring shit out, especially now that we're moving in a different and a new direction. So, I hope that we, at least for the very least for now, for the near future, have a lot more positive things to talk about. Anyway, take care. Maybe I'll do a top 5, 5 things deep, or like some people do. But I literally just watched the show in patches while I did my show. I'm going to watch the full highlights in the upcoming 24 hours or so, and then give my opinions on how things went down. All right? Love. Peace.